Hi, I'm Jack Copeland, and welcome to Bring Your Fire. Today, we have Mr. Russo.
Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Russo. I teach sociology and civics here. It's my 32nd year here at Hinsdale Central.
Yeah, so Mr. Russo, how's your spice tolerance?
My spice tolerance is just okay, Jack. I gotta be honest with you. It's
Okay.
just okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm a little worried. But let's get into our first wing. It's garlic parm, so
Okay.
it shouldn't be too bad.
Just
Just
a
one
bite.
bite, that's all you need. So, I was wondering, did you always want to be a teacher?
I think so. From high school, that was one of the things I put down as like what I thought I'd be in the future. That along with a rock star, and that one didn't pan out so much. So
Well, I don't know about that.
there's still time.
All right, so we're moving on to our second wing,
Okay.
lemon pepper.
Lemon
Again,
pepper.
should not be spicy.
Right on.
Get 'em. So what activities were you part of in high school?
In high school, I played basketball. That was my main sport, which I know is a little bit funny because of my height. But I love playing, and we were very mediocre. In fact, my junior year, I think we were 1-23, and that was a tough year. But then senior year, we were about 500. And then I played tennis my first 2 years as well.
So, as we know, you're a teacher, but what was your favorite history subject in high school?
Well, I had one teacher. He was my basketball coach, and he taught me U.S. history and political science. And those were the ones that stuck out. I was terrible at science. I was terrible at math. I still am. And so social studies seemed to be the one thing I found really interesting. I love just the idea of history and like I said, how it changes society. So those two were the biggest influence on me, and that teacher was the biggest influence on me. And it's really neat because we're still friends, and he was only probably 6 years older than me when I was a senior. And it's funny because I went to a private high school, Catholic high school, and I was interviewing for a job, and he got me an interview at my old high school, and they didn't take me. And a week later, I got this job, and he laughed. He says, "That's better for you because the private schools don't pay much money at all. They get not really a livable wage at that time." And so I was happy to land here in Hinsdale. It was great.
Yeah. So this is our third wing.
Yes, it is.
It is a hickory smoked barbecue.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Another good one.
So it's that time for seniors, like college and big things like that. So what was your admissions process like?
Mr. Russo became more of a student when he got to college. So my admissions process was easy. Only one school let me in, so there was really not a lot of anxiety or stress. But to be honest with you, we had one counselor for the entire school. Now there's only 150 kids in my graduating class, but I don't even remember going to her for college stuff. So you were it was left on your own. Yeah. But yeah, admission wise, I probably needed to take high school a bit more seriously than I did when I was a kid. And then back then you just took the ACT. I never took the SAT. I think that was more regional, wherever you were in the country. So when I see people getting all worked up, and even my own kids had a hard time, with where to go. You got to go and visit them, and you feel at home. And if you don't, you move, you transfer. People try to act like it's the end of the world if it's not the right fit. That's not. You'll find your path.
So you said you only got into one school. Where did you end up going?
I ended up going to Whitewater, University of Wisconsin at Whitewater. And I wanted to go to Indiana. And I ended up graduating from Indiana because I transferred down there.
Oh.
So, I went to Whitewater for a semester. The classes were great. I just didn't want to be, I kind of went just to go. I got stuck in an intensive study dorm on an intensive study floor, which was not my vibe, if you will. In fact, everybody on that floor, when we asked each other, did you apply for this hall? And they're like, no. It's like, so I'm actually still friends with a couple of those guys. And then I came home. I went to COD for a semester,
Okay.
went through the summer, and then I just transferred down to IU because that's where I wanted to be originally.
Okay.
And that's where I graduated from. Yeah.
In college, did you always study education? Was that like
No,
what you knew you
so
wanted to be?
so it's kind of interesting. I didn't. I got a degree in U.S. history.
Okay.
All right, I didn't take one education course at Indiana. So I graduated. I remember sitting with my brother, and he's like, "What are you going to do now?" I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of not a lot of forward thinking. And so I actually had to go after I graduated Indiana. I went to North Central College to get in Naperville to get a teaching certificate. So
That's awesome.
That's how I became a teacher.
This is our fourth wing. It's
Okay.
They're mild, but it's buffalo.
Okay, beautiful.
Let's get into it.
My favorite.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Actually, I like it a lot.
So, what was your favorite moment in high school or college? Like your peak?
Well, yeah, I mean, I met some great people. One of my best friends is still from Indiana. And actually, I met him. I came back from a spring break that we were on. And I was with my high school buddies. They picked me up. We went down to New Orleans. And then on the way back, they had to drop me a day early. So I was in the dorms and nobody's there. I mean, like when you come back on spring break,
Yeah.
they don't come back till the last day, right?
Right.
So it's kind of a little freaky, you're in this huge dorm. It's really quiet, and I heard a record going by a guy named Van Morrison, who I really liked. And so I walked down, just knocked on the guy's door, and he's like, "Yeah, I got back a day early," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And we just kind of struck up a conversation, and then he was into basketball, and I was too, so we went and shot around. And just started to become really great friends. So I ended up living with him my senior year.
Oh.
We had a fabulous time. We lived in an apartment and just real good times.
Is there anything you would have done differently, like going through admissions or high school?
I would have taken high school way more seriously.
Yeah.
And I would have asked more questions. It's the one thing is frustrating as a teacher is when kids don't tell you they don't get something.
Right.
And I was that kid. I would be like, I understand, and I'm like, I have no clue what they're saying, right? And so that set me back a little bit, I think. I wouldn't change anything about my life. I love my life. It's a good deal, but it's fun to watch my kids go through it in that they're all different. I have three of them, and my last one's very, very directed. He seems to know what he wants to do now,
Yeah.
I wasn't like I wasn't sure what I wanted. I was kind of a scatterbrained all over the place, poster child for ADD kind of things. Like everything caught my attention, and so I don't know. I don't think I'd change it. Like I said, I'd like to have more focus in my life. But
Yeah. So talking about that, what advice do you think you should give to seniors right now?
I would say choose something that seems comfortable for you, that you think is going to push you a little bit, make you a little uncomfortable, maybe get outside your comfort zone. You've lived, K through 12 in Hinsdale probably for most people. And while that's a great area to grow up in, I would say maybe try to experience something a little bit outside of that. College is an opportunity, in your lifetime, to get out of Illinois if you can afford it and all that. I know that's part of it. But to try some new experiences. Go overseas. My brother did that. I thought that was genius. And my youngest son, he wants to go and study, overseas. And I think that's a great idea, at least for a semester. But try to do as many things as you can. Like you said, get involved, man. The more people you know, the more connections you make later in life too. All those things are super important. Networking. And be a kid.
Enjoy it.
Don't forget to be a kid, because it's you get old, not old, but you have to be responsible then at some time, and that's fun too, but not as much fun as being a kid.
Sounds like good advice.
Yeah.
This is number 5.
Number 5.
This is their Louisiana rub, whatever
Okay.
that means.
All right.
You okay?
That's got a little kick to it, but I like it.
Mm-hmm. If there was a different subject you could teach, what would it be? Not history, really.
Oh, okay. I like English because I love reading books too. I just love how you get lost in a book.
Yeah.
So I think it would be English. It would not be math just because I don't know how to do it. And I like PE. That was always fun. but I like English. I think it would be English. Yeah.
All right. So this is our sixth wing.
Okay.
Their original hot.
Okay.
Let's try it. It's not too bad.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what type of environment do you try to have in your classroom?
Well, I think I try to make it relaxed and comfortable
For sure.
because I want kids to talk. That's the environment I did well in. When I had teachers who would make you feel like you weren't looked down on or talked down on, that your opinions were welcomed, and I like to laugh too. I like some levity in the class. I like to be on task, but I also like to be able to kind of joke and have some fun in class. I think that makes it stick. I think that makes the content stick a little bit more if they can remember the conversations you're having.
Yeah. Do you have any what would you say, odd methods of teaching that you'd say you use?
I suppose it depends on your perspective, but you know what? I don't think I'd call them odd.
Mm-hmm.
I like to get to know kids, what's their lives about, because I think if you can do that, you can then attach the stuff you're trying to talk about, hopefully, to what their life experience is. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Nothing odd. I don't know. What would you think by that?
Well, you have a long standing tradition in your classroom.
Okay, I got you.
If you're late to class, you
yes.
do push-ups.
Okay, so yes. So if you're late or tardy, I'd say let's do some push-ups. And that kind of goes on whether or not I want to do the push-ups too. So that kind of throughout the semester might wane a little bit. But we used to have clubs where we donate stuff, and that used to be if you were tardy, you'd pay $1. But I don't know if that was extortion, but we weren't using it for our own good. It was just go to donating stuff. But yeah, push-ups. I like to get going, especially first hour, because everybody's so dead. It's like, let's get the blood moving. So
yeah. So I have a little challenge for you, or a question.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to do a push-up challenge, and the winner of that challenge, whoever does more push-ups, gets to skip the next wing?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah?
I certainly would.
So this is our seventh wing.
Who won?
Mango habanero. You won, obviously. So if you'd like to, you can skip
I can skip it. I might take a little bite just to get the
Take a little bite.
heat. Yeah.
All right, well, let's take it. I don't like that one as much.
The heat comes after.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
So you have a band.
Yeah.
What is your band's name, and what type of music do you play?
Mm-hmm. The band's name is the Loose Screws, and we've been playing together for 35 years. And we play rock and roll covers and country covers, and we play all the different nightclubs and bars and weddings and any event, private parties, block parties. And I probably play 4 or 5 times a month.
Musically, who are you inspired by?
My favorite guy is Bruce Springsteen. I
Yes.
love him. And the reason I love him is because my oldest brother, I was listening to AC/DC and Molly Hatchet and Meatloaf, which are bands, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but anyway. And he was older than me, and he came into my room. I was in 8th grade, I remember, and he kicks open the door and he says, "You take that junk off the turntable. I'm taking you to Bruce Springsteen next week, and I don't want to do it because it's the best thing you'll ever see, and you're too young to experience that." And it was funny because that concert ironically got canceled, and then I went my freshman year in high school. And what was so cool about it was just to see, and I really only knew a few of his songs at that time, to see my brothers going so crazy, like I'm like this bananas over this guy, you know, and there's a ton of energy in the stadium. It's the All-State Arena now. It was used to be called the Rosemont Horizon. And it was such a, jolt of energy, man, that just got me going and fired up. As you kids say, it was lit. And, I'm like, oh, cool, I want to do that, I want to have that experience. And that's when I started playing guitar more and then getting into like some high school bands and trying to just achieve some music with those guys. So it was fun.
What's your favorite moment throughout your musical career?
Well, I've got a bunch. We played a couple places where it was just a lot of people, which was a lot of fun to, when you're working at something so hard and you get rewarded to play in front of a lot of people. But I played a couple students' weddings, former students. In fact, this summer I played one, and that's cool because you reconnect and you're part of their day, and that means that means that you affected them and they affected you, right? And those kinds of things are really neat. I've done three students' weddings, in my career here. But you know what? The joy of it is just playing. I just get such a kick out of music. I can do it all day, and it's relaxing. I never stop learning about it, and that's something to me that I love when the head keeps going.
So
wing number, what are we at here?
Wing number 8.
8.
This is the spicy Korean.
Oh, all right.
So we're gonna
give it a shot.
Try this.
What do you think?
Round taste?
Me neither. It's good. I'm not getting any heat.
I'm not either.
But I like the taste.
Yeah. We know you have a song called "The Dishes Don't Get Done" on YouTube, and I would like you to explain your song, "The Dishes Don't Get Done."
You're one of the few people who know about that song. Well, just trying to write an original song. As my wife and I had kids, obviously your responsibilities get greater, right? And so I was just thinking about that versus juxtaposed against how you grow up and how you're constantly learning. And so that song, while it could be looked at really on a basic level about not getting dishes done, right? The idea is that you're constantly evolving, and that there's always some dirt on you, right? Mm-hmm. And that you never reach a part where you're like, oh, I get everything, I'm everything I wanted to be. And so that the idea is that, you're never quite finished. You're never quite a finished product, which I think is what makes people want to be teachers too. You're like a lifelong learner. So that's what it means to me. And I liked how it came out. It was fun. And actually that video was shot by a former student of mine.
How did the music video come to be? Because it was in your house with your kids, your wife,
so,
and your dog.
Pat Foley, who was one of my students, had gone down to the Atlanta School of Arts, or Savannah School of Arts, one of the SCAD, I think it's called. And he had been shooting music videos for some rap artists down there. And so when he came back, I said, hey, can you... I got a song, I'd like you to shoot a video, here's my idea. He said, sure. He came over, and I think we filmed that in an hour, and he had it up in another hour on YouTube. And that just a basic idea of, that was just like a little family thing, and like telling the kids what to do and clean their rooms and stuff like that. And the idea is that, my wife gave me a list of things to do and stuff like that. And you don't always get them all done and stuff like that.
This is our 9th wing. It is the Cajun wing.
Okay.
And let's see how this goes.
Oh yeah.
It's coming.
Oh yeah.
So, as we know, you are retiring.
Yes.
You're going and I'm going.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
Class of 2025, baby.
What is one thing you're looking forward to in retirement?
Well, I'm looking forward to fishing a lot. I'm looking forward to playing more music. I'm looking forward to not having to eat hot wings and be on camera. You know what? Just a new life experience. I've been doing this for 33 years now. It will be 33 years. And I love it. I don't mind coming in at all. It's never felt like a job. Like I have friends who hate their job. And to me, it's always felt like a career and constantly learning and trying to get better at it. And making mistakes, all that stuff, but hopefully succeeding. And so yeah, just a lot of time. And two of my kids will be out of college because they graduate when I do as well. And yeah, just doing whatever I want to do. You know,
Yeah.
I think I'll work again doing something. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I'll miss, I think, the most. And I hope I'm not jumping the gun on your questions here, but you get so used to talking to people.
Yeah.
Every day I'm talking to 100 and something kids, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so that's a big social aspect of your life, right? So that I don't know how to replace that. My dog's a great dog, but he doesn't say much back. So I think I'll miss that a lot.
Do you have any plans for your band after retirement?
You know, I do a lot of solo gigs, so just me and my guitar singing. So I plan to do that a lot more. Keeping a band together is like trying to keep a relationship together. People come and go, so I'm sure we'll do some more stuff, depending on where my wife and I end up. I kind of like to see myself part-time in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere warm on a beach, playing songs from about 3 to 5 p.m. and then having the rest of the day to myself. And then in the summer, I'd like to go up north to Wisconsin and fish and hang out on lakes and stuff like that.
All right, so we are on to our last wing.
Okay.
That is their atomic. So let's see how this goes.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Well, I almost came up.
I feel like it's gonna sneak up on me here. You only got to do one bite.
No, but it's pretty damn good.
It is kind of good. So, is there anything you'd like to say to students, to anyone, before we finish this?
I would say try to live your best life. Be comfortable in your own skin. I think that's the hardest thing for anybody to do when you're young, because you're always judging yourself against other people. But it's okay just to be you.
Yeah.
And when you're you, it comes through so nicely. And the students I think I relate to more are those kids who've kind of helped get to that point, or try to help them get to that point, to be honest with you, is you don't have to like everything everybody else likes. Just be you. And have goals, try to reach those goals. Have failures are the best thing for you because they teach you. And have fun. You know, life's great, man. Especially if you have, we live in an area where a lot of things are taken care of. And so the problems that we encounter, I think, are a lot of first world problems. And that we don't need to worry too much about those things. You know, there are hard things. I understand that with some people. But for the most part, we live a pretty charmed life.
Yeah.
So you should enjoy it, and go after the things you dream about and fall in love. Want to have kids? They're great. They're the greatest things in the world as well.